Hello my scrappy friends, and welcome back to my channel for another process video. Today I'm going to be working in my daughter's friends album, creating another layout using the Echo Park collection, Sweet Girl. I've been using that quite a bit lately. However, this one is definitely going to give it a whole new look that isn't going to even look like it was from that collection, just by the color palette that I decided to use and the bits and pieces of paper. Now, I've done this layout almost, I've done these lines before, and it kind of reminded me of a macrame that is in my daughter's bedroom, which is where I kind of got the idea. So I'm doing this again, however, I'm making it a more larger scale than the one that I did for my daughter's album. And I'll leave that video if you want to see that up below or up on the top right hand side. And I'll even leave it at the very end if you guys want to see just the comparison. But I did this more of a 6 by 12, so this is like half of that 12 by 12 layout. But I really wanted to talk to you about and kind of show you a way of scrapbooking where if you are on a budget, maybe you're new to scrapbooking. And when you're new to scrapbooking, we all know, especially for us long timers that have been scrapbooking, it could be very overwhelming. It can seem very expensive. And I've really been trying to show you lately in the past few videos just how little you truly need. So I drew these lines. I think most, if you're on a budget or you're just trying to use up what you have and stretch those collections out, for whatever reason, but definitely having white cardstock and then taking a collection and using the white cardstock as a background and giving all the pops of color by using your collection and cutting it into shapes. So this kind of paper was already done for me. It is like a pie chart paper. I used just that little strip that I had that was, kind of the off cut of my previous cutting on this. I just took that last strip of circles and I just cut around them. And now I have lots of pops of color. And so I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle those around. The frame has polka dots. This kind of reminds me of like a macrame. And so I am, creating that type of look. So anytime I think that you have a collection and you have white cardstock and like I said, you're trying to stretch out that collection to get as much layouts as you can, my first tip would be white cardstock, and my second tip is cutting out those pattern papers into shapes, whether it's with your die cuts, if you have a cutting machine such as a Cricut or a Silhouette, and using it as basic shapes such as hearts, triangles, rectangles, circles, I think I said triangles, hexagons, just those basic classic shapes that we all know. And using that to actually decorate your page. And I've been doing this lately on the past several layouts. So like I said, all I took was just that little tiny strip to add pops of color. And now I want to bring it over to the left-hand side. So I want to keep adding some color. And as you saw, I took all the branding strips that I left with my collection and I just cut them up, and now I'm going to use them. That is something I am extremely known for as not wasting. If I could use it, I will try to use it up. You've seen me take little tiny thin strips of paper, pattern paper, and excuse me, layer that up behind my photo or border it. You've also seen me take a ripped up background paper that was glued down to a photo, and part of it was still, I could salvage it, and I just took punches. That was on my previous video. So I really do try to use up everything, and if I can't, it's not a big deal. I don't worry about it. If I can't, it just goes into the trash. But if I can and I can make it work without it being much effort, then I'm definitely going to do that. And to me, this was very effortless. I'm like, oh, strips. I know exactly what to do with that. I'm going to go ahead and put them on the side. Not that I'm going to the sticker sheet. I'm going to look for stickers that I could use. And I definitely want to have some embellishments on those branding strips and kind of make that the house of my embellishments. So I went and found the sticker that says delightful. I found this little tiny scrap that I had in my stash that obviously I wasn't letting go to waste. And I was like, okay, you know what? I can make a tag out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put a tag on this as well. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And then I'm just going to start looking for little bits and pieces that I can add to this. Now, this is something that I'm trying to do new too, where I'm adding a variety of embellishments to build my page, where I'm just looking for colors and just trying to add just more interest with the embellishments. So you'll see a couple of things that are going to be added on here that were not from the actual collection here in a few. All right, so I'm going to glue that down because anytime that I have anything now, I definitely like to use my Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive, just so that way I don't have to go back into my albums and have to re-glue everything. I used to originally use this and that dotted adhesive, and a year later I went through my daughter's albums and everything was coming apart. So not only for my daughters, but also for my sons, and I had to re-glue everything, and talk about time consuming. I didn't stick it down I stuck it down originally, but I kind of kept everything as it was and just kind of tuck glue in here and there, hoping that will last because it took forever. So definitely by the end, I was kind of going through it pretty quickly and not doing it very precisely with my glue. All right, so now I'm just going to add some layers to that photo. Again, adding colors. On that one side, it had polka dots, so it has the aqua and the red, because I definitely want to mix this up as far as the color palette of using all of those colors that are in the pie chart. So if there's some red, I want little pops of red. If there's some green, I don't want any color truly dominating this layout. Again, just to make it feel like it's a very different collection while she's looking through her album. I've been on this kick where my friends Sarah and Christy and a whole bunch of other ladies do this How to Kill a Kit with Style. And if you haven't seen that series, it's definitely a great series. I'm actually going to join them for the first time since they've been doing this for years, where they will use up an entire kit. And I've always been intimidated by that because I always felt like I kind of just go with whatever speaks to me for working with a photo. But now lately I've kind of been finding photos that speak to the collection, so I can kind of go through this collection and get stuff used up out of my stash and into the albums. So like I said, I wanted to give this a very different look and feel than the past several layouts I've been doing with this Echo Park Sweet Girl. All right, so I went through my stash, and again, remember I said I was trying to find just very fun, different embellishments. This is something that kind of reminds me again, like Studio Calico when they used to do scrapbooking kits, and their creators would just do random embellishments. And so I found these ones that were by Freckled Fawn, and it has a little arrow, it has that green, and it says you. So I like that because it kind of gives a little subtitle, Delightful You, onto her layout. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some sprinkles. I felt like there still needed to be more color onto the background, and I have that connection of the color on the right connecting to the color on the left. And an easy way for that to happen is adding any type of ink splatters that you have. So I used one by Heidi Swap that is pretty much empty, that bottle. It was something rose, I can't remember the name of it. And then the other one is that tinsel one that is that gray that I'm obsessed with right now. All right, so after taking a break of this layout, usually I like to take a time and go hang out with my husband, watch some TV, and usually the next day I'll have some new ideas. And I thought, you know what, let me actually trace the background. I just did this on my last one, my little pocket page that I did with the hearts, just to define the actual shape more. So I'm going to outline the circles with my black emoji pen or Muji pen. And I really like that. It just defines it all. I'm not going to do anything on the left because I felt like that would be too much. I wanted it specifically just for that. Next, I'm going to grab some, oh yes, Miss Grossman stickers. I looked at the date and found it. I was like 1997. That was way before I was even scrapbooking. I started scrapbooking in year 2000, I believe, 2000 or 2001. And oh my gosh, I have stuff from 97. I think that is the oldest supplies I have in my collection. But I still like them. I think border strips make, I mean, the possibilities are endless of what you could do with them. So what I'm going to do is kind of layer them up using pink and yellow. And I'm going to make that a shelf to house my title. Like I said, I don't ever journal in any of my daughter's friends' albums because those would be my words, but I do leave spots in case they want to journal. If they do decide to journal, I left it to where they could journal below that shelf that I made for the title. All right, so now I go back into my stash and I'm just trying to use up stuff, and what I like to look for is colors. So I found this heart by Freckled Fawn that I'm gonna go ahead and stick down this chipboard. And then I'm gonna use a number 5 to represent the 5 friends in the picture. I do this a lot with my numbers to represent how many people are in the photo or how many people are in my family, because of the fact that I have so many numbers in my stash, and because I don't do Project Life by the week, I do it by the month. I don't use them for, my title card. So I definitely try to find ways to use them up even for bullet point journaling. Now I didn't know where I was going to put it. I thought about putting it in on the lines, and then I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to bring it up to where all the rest of the embellishments are, and that is on the left-hand side, and I'm actually going to place it above this heart. Next, I'm going to do something so brave. You're going to see this here in just a few minutes. I decided to stamp on the layout. Yeah, layout is pretty much done, and here I am going to stamp my title. Everything went okay, except for one thing. The title is going to be Chillin' with My Friends because they're at a frozen yogurt shop. And I'm going to pick the colors pink and yellow. As far as the yellow, I think that was by Catherine Poole called Tierra, I believe. And the other one was by Hero Arts. It's a called Soft Pink. And those are going to be the 2 colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Studio Calico, the outline and the solid font. I don't know the name of the font, and I apologize for that, but if I can find it for you in their Studio Calico shop, I will definitely list it below. I bought it a long time ago, so I don't even know if it's still available. Like I said, everything is going to go pretty smooth as far as the title, thank goodness, because here I am at the very end. But the only thing that I didn't measure out, that I was kind of eyeballing it, and that is where I put the top part where it says chilling with. I needed to move the word chilling a little bit more off to the left, hanging over that word my, and then because I did have to squish it together because the word with does go into the design on the right hand side. And that's it, my friends. That is the layout. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, I do hope you consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And you all have an amazing day. I will talk to you soon. Bye.